So I was sitting on my bed one day, bored out of my mind, just staring at my shelf of Lego. And then I had an idea. Why not rebuild these sets? But no, that would be a little bit lame seeing as I've, already built these sets before. But then I had an idea. There's this really cool site called Rebrickable, which allows users to upload their own mocks, and on there's a category called alternate builds, which basically just means that they are built using the same parts that are found from other sets. And I don't know about you, that is just a really cool concept to me. So yeah, anyway, I found 5 alternate builds for 5 Ninjago sets that I have in my own collection. So why not start with the smallest one and then make our way up to the largest one. And when I said small, I wasn't kidding, because the first set we're going to rebuild is the 2024 Baby Dragon Ryu set, which comes in at 132 pieces. And we are going to be building it into this dragon mech. It looks pretty interesting, and let's see if it's going to be better than the original. Alright, so the way this works is, you go on the website and you download the instructions, which means you have to use the instructions on the computer, which is definitely something I'm not used to. And since when I usually build Lego, I watch YouTube, I couldn't because I had to look at the instructions, so I had to listen to music instead. I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows. We know it when it flows, so I say it and it froze. So after like 10 minutes of building, I finished it. So yeah, it is a pretty small build, and it kind of looks a bit odd, I'd say. I mean, it is weird to see a dragon built into a mech, and I honestly don't know if I like it or not. Like, the wings are cool, I like how Aaron can sit in it, but then the arms, they just look so off, and the tail, I mean, you know what it kind of looks like, right? I don't know, it's just an odd set, to say the least, and I'd definitely take the original set over this one. Alright, so after that failure of a set, let's move on to the next one. And we're going to be rebuilding the Ninja Nightcrawler. So this is your run-of-the-mill Gloid set, Gloid card that we get like every year. Albeit it is kind of better than all of the others. It is probably my favourite one. You know, when you roll it around, you can like shoot some studs around. It's quite cool. But I've got to say, this alternate build looks really awesome. It's called the Venom Hot Rod. You've got like this, I guess, the Venom Hot Rod. It looks kind of cool. It looks like it has eyes even. And then Ultraviolet even gets a vehicle. I don't know why. And it's like a little plane thing with the stud shooters. It looks cool. I'm excited to build this. Alright, so I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but the instructions are actually a video. I mean, just watch this. Alright, well, let's wait for the ad. Shush. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna have to watch a video on some guy building it and follow his instructions. I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know. Is that gonna be easy? Is it gonna be hard? I don't know. Maybe I'm being like an unk or something, and I'm just and it's gonna end up being like a way better way of building. But who knows? I mean, this is a 40-minute video, and I'm gonna have to watch it all. I'll probably pause a lot to find the pieces. So yeah. Alright, so only literally after a couple minutes of building, I just had enough. I had to eat. I'm actually home alone tonight, so my mum knows I'm like super incompetent and there's no way I was going to be able to cook anything myself. She actually got me a ready-made lasagna meal from the supermarket, and it looks interesting. I don't know how it's going to taste, but we'll see. So I'm going to pop it straight into the oven. And while I waited for the lasagna to cook, I just could not be bothered going back to building the Lego, so I played some FIFA instead. It's ready. Let's dig in. It's not bad. I'll give it 3.5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom. Anyway, I'm just gonna finish eating this, and no, I'm not keeping the mask on while I eat. And so after getting refueled by the lasagna, I was ready to get back to building. And to be honest, the video wasn't really too bad. Yes, at times I couldn't really tell what pieces he was picking up and where he was putting them, but my Giga Brain ended up being able to piece it together. So let's show you the final build now. Alright, so the car's now finished, and before I actually show it to you, I just wanted to show you all of the pieces that like weren't used, because I did not expect there to be that many unused pieces. Anyway, back to the vehicle. So I think this vehicle does look a bit worse than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it doesn't have a roof, which isn't really the worst thing. And if you look like inside, you can see all of the gears and stuff. And there also isn't really too much detail on the outside, but I guess that isn't the worst thing in the world. But anyway, onto what I do like. So the doors on the sides do open. I do really like that. And on the back, it's also got like this flap thing where I can shoot out some like studs, but unfortunately I lost all of the studs, so yeah, it's just plain right now. But yeah, I am a bit disappointed by this, but I still think it's pretty cool. And then I didn't really have that high hopes for the plane, but somehow it still manages to not meet my expectations, because this thing just looks so bad. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so boring. I think he just saw that there were so many missing pieces and he just tried to build something. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm definitely not going to keep it built. Alright, we're now moving on to another ninja vehicle, and this time it is going to be Kai's. And the vehicle in question is Kai's Firejet from the Legacy Wave. So this set is just amazing. It's massive, it can shoot missiles, and the red and the orange, I love it, I'll be honest. But the thing is, could it be better? I don't know. So when I was scrolling through Rebrickable, I found this build called Clyde's Dragon X-Wing or something like that. And well, I've mentioned it before, but I am not a Star Wars guy. I hate it. It's quite boring for me, which I know is a bit unpopular. But anyway, I do really like how it has like the X at the back, because, you know, it's an X-Wing. And, you know, I'm sure it'll be a fun build. So why don't we build? Alright, so we've got the Dusty set here. And all I have to do is break it, sort it, and then build it. Let's get it. And when I said it was dusty, I meant it, because I felt like I dusted off every other piece with a damn toothbrush. And don't worry, I didn't use it to brush my teeth. And so after I felt like 1,000 years, I finally got it done. It took so long, in fact, that it's now dark outside. So anyway, I do think this thing looks quite disappointing, if I'm going to be real. Just from looking at the top, the front looks really sad, and there's not really too much going on at the back. However, I do like the cockpit, especially the things coming out of the sides. And speaking of pieces, there are so many like unused pieces that it's absolutely ridiculous. And the only thing I kind of like is the actual like X-Wing part, and it's actually made out of like Ninjago legs. But the problem with that is it breaks quite easily. So is this better than the original set? I'm gonna have to say no. However, it definitely had potential. Alright, let's move on from one disappointing set to one that's hopefully gonna be at least a little bit less disappointing. So the set we are gonna be rebuilding is a Temple of Resurrection from 2018 Sons of Garmadon. So I actually quite like this set. The color scheme is pretty good, and also has some really cool play features like the trapdoors, and also this little hook thing or handle that reveals Garmadon on top of the temple. There's also a lot of cool details in the underground section as well. And the best part about this set might have to be the minifigures, because you get so many of them. And of course, you also get the free Oni masks, which are very cool as well. But we are going to be rebuilding this temple into a ship. So it's going to be very similar to the Destiny's Bounty. And honestly, I think it looks super great. And even if a couple tweaks, it might even be able to be better than a Bounty. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to build it. Hopefully it works out. And I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so where do I even begin with this set? I guess I'll talk about the thing that I think at least stands out the most. And that is the sails. And that, unfortunately, is probably my least favorite bit of the build as well. Just blue, and it doesn't look that nice. It doesn't fit with the rest of the build. And I know, just, you know, using what the set came with, but I do feel like it could have been a bit better. And the build for the sails actually sit on, I don't think is the best either. I mean, it just takes up quite a decent amount of space and doesn't look great. But I think that is also like my only complaint with this set, maybe other than the dragon head at the front. It doesn't really look like a dragon. Maybe it's not even supposed to. But I do like the transparent head, because it gives it like a ghost vibe. and also has like a bat behind it, which I think is pretty cool. And if you move over a little bit, you can also see a baby Woo just chilling as well, which I think is just so funny to have the Sons of Garment on ship. And on the side, we also have these really cool cannon builds. They can't fire anything obviously, but I think they look pretty cool. But I reckon my favorite part of this set might actually have to be the exhaust stuff, or whatever you would call it. I mean, I just love how it uses the fire pieces as well, the exhaust. And I also think it looks quite nice as well. You can also fit a minifigure there if you like wanted to for whatever reason. And then before we move on to the top, we've also got this inside bit. I mean, it is covered up on one side, and the other side you do have to lift open this web. But in the inside you can actually see 3 Oni masks that are facing the other side of the wall for some reason. I don't really know why. You can't even see the front of them because these doors do not open. I don't know, maybe they're just keeping them there for safekeeping. But anyway, let's move on to the top deck, where we've got Harumi steering the ship. And I really like how they made the steering wheel with this like axle piece. And there's also like, I don't know, another cannon thing potentially on top. And 2 flags, which, I don't know, they look alright as well. And now we are on to the last and probably the most exciting rebuild set of the day. And that is going to be a rebuild of the Temple of the Ultimate Weapon from the Lego Ninjago movie. So I think this set may actually be the largest set that I own. And for a long time it was also my favourite set. It came with all of the movie ninja with their hair pieces. And inside, well, it isn't great because it is very skinny, but it still has lots of details. It has this boulder thing that should come down, it has this thing which can come out, and then a crate with the ultimate weapon stuff in it, which is pretty cool. It also has a scroll, some pictures which are quite cool, where you can see, I think, Garmadon drinking some milk. And we've also got this statue, which is cool as well. Oh, and Woo is also drinking milk next to it. There's also an attic, and there's not really too much to say about that up there. However, there are a lot of missing pieces in this set because it's old. I mean, you can probably just tell from this recording that it's dusty as. I mean, it just had this sitting out for like years now. And the thing we're going to be rebuilding it into is like kind of a house. Like, this is obviously meant to be like a house, but the thing we're actually building it into, it has walls, it has stories, and the interior, I can't really see in the photos, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. So, well, enough for yapping, let's just rebuild this set. Okay, so I had to build this set a bit different from the other ones, because, as I said, there were so many pieces. I mean, just look at what my desk ended up looking like when I put all of the pieces on top of it. So I couldn't build it on the desk, so I had to do a bit of improvising. So what I did was I grabbed one of my bedside tables and put it right next to my desk so I could build. Anyway, the build was really fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product. Okay, so where do I even start with this? Because I'm just gonna say it right off the bat, this wasn't 100% worth building. So this house, you could call it, is 3 stories high, and the best thing about it is modular, meaning you can take each floor apart. So let's start off with the first floor. So taking the first floor off, we get a good look at what I believe to be the best floor in the entire house. So first off, we've got a table which spins, which is really cool. And we've got 2 chairs, you know, for the ninja to sit on. Then in front of it, we've got a sink. It is a bit tall compared to a minifigure, but I mean, it still looks pretty good. I especially like how they, you know, made the drawers. And then next to it, we have a toilet. I originally thought they weren't going to include a door there, but thankfully they did. And I also really like how they built the toilet here. It looks really cool. Anyway, I do want to move to the front door because I think it is one of the weakest parts of the build. I mean, the door, it just built very weirdly, and it can't even open like even a third of the way, and it just looks very unstable. And just staying on the outside, we've got a chair. I mean, it looks alright. Don't really see the ninja sitting on it too often. We also got a nice little plant and a lamppost, which, you know, isn't really emitting any light at the moment. It's also a fence, you know, to keep the ninja safe if they need to, but people can just come in from the other side. And if we take a look at the back, we've also got a nice sack which, you know, the ninja could put some stuff in. We've got a plant, you know, it actually looks pretty decent. We've got this, don't know what this is. Maybe it's like a clothesline, you know, with that. The ninja could actually put their clothes in there. We also got some crates with the ninja stuff in it, like some stuff they've collected over the years, like, of course, a diamond crystal thingo and some bones. But then, what might be the best looking part of this build is these stairs. I mean, oh my days, that just looks so good. And now, let's look at the second floor. Let's take a look at this floor. We've got a bed, which, you know, kind of reminds me of Cole's bed from the Tournament of Elements for being all rocky. But it does bring up the question of, where do all of the other ninjas sleep? Do they just like on the chairs and stuff all around the house? Maybe, who knows? Anyway, there's also a TV that if we just move it, you do get to see a pretty decent look of, and, you know, not too bad at all. Also got a satellite on there because I guess this house is old, it doesn't have cable. Anyway, the only other thing really about this level is this door. I mean, just look at this. It moves. I think that's sick. It's a sliding door, and it, well, I was going to say it works really well, but I just stopped it from working. Yeah, it's a bit fiddly, but it does work, and it also leads to a fairly spacious balcony, which, you know, the ninja can look out at wherever this house is located. On to the third floor, but I hesitate to call it a third floor because it's pretty much an attic. Because if you take this part off of the roof, it just broke, but who cares? See this, like, it just has a trap door underneath, and, you know, if I can get it to go down, like, the stairs come down, climb up, just like any other house with an attic pretty much. And yeah, I don't really know what the ninja are going to store up here because it's very unspacious. Maybe that's why they have all of the stuff out at the back of the house. Anyway, there's also like, I don't know, a clock tower. I really don't know what to call this. There's not really much about it, and if you want to take a look at the inside, you can't because the door does not come out. I want to talk about the set where the like outside pieces, like we've got this rock water thingo which, you know, can come out. I think that's quite cool. There's also two more on the other side. We've got this little like shed thing, you know, where ninja can have like their Lego room and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. And finally, this other rock sculpture thing with a snake coming out of the side. So yeah, this set is very cool, and I don't know, I call it the best one. Probably not. I still think I prefer the Oni bounty or whatever you would call it. Yeah, you know, these mocks turned out a lot better than I thought they were, and you know what, my last three mocks have also been okay, I would say, so why not check out the that I've made. As always, see you later, be ninja.